All right, so today we're going to talk about the contextualizing document. This one, it can be a little bit tricky if you're not used to, I mean, we're not used to looking at this type of resource, looking at these kinds of research. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to pull up from Canvas what exactly are we looking at, okay? So, and I'm doing these a little bit out of order from what they do because it's just, you know, like the book I know sometimes takes a little bit longer, especially now. And so we just kind of pace it according to the ones that we think are easier to find, okay? So the contextualizing document is a lot of times it's a law case or a legal document of some kind. Why is it every time I do these lives, my phone starts blowing up? Like since I started this, I've had like 3 texts come in. Anyway, so a lot of times it might be a law case. It might be some kind of a legal document. It could be, you know, even like a speech, you know, that someone hits, like a very significant speech, like Martin Luther King Jr. or something of his, or some of the presidential speeches. And there, you know, there was even, I know one of them that we had looked at little pieces of before was Barbara Johnson as she addressed the Nixon impeachment hearing. It can include histories on a subject. It can include some sort of a study that's been done or research specifically that's been done and is being presented. So these are all basically the idea of this contextualizing document is to provide really kind of a foundation for your argument. Okay, so again, Sam, just going on yours because this is what we've been kind of talking about it today. You know, the fact that you're saying, and if you're not familiar, he's looking at Native Americans and kind of equal representation. And so, you know, you could even go back to the Declaration of Independence where it says all men are created equal, and they were in the country at the time. But again, looking at the definition of, you know, all men and how that definition has changed over time. And so that would come down then to kind of an argument of definition, okay? Let's see. All right. One of the things, and I was just looking over this again. One of the things that you want to try to start getting away from is, you know, we've been working with editorials, okay? We are the editorial masters. We can find opinion pieces and we can summarize, we can do all the things. So start kind of thinking outside the box. You do have access to the UT library, which would be really good to find a contextualizing source. Google Scholar is another, if you're not familiar with it. It provides, I'm going to pull up another, it'll let me pull up a tab here and type in. System can't perform the operation now. What? Scholar.google. Okay, so Google Scholar, you'll even see here that one of the options is law cases. And so I'm going to look up, well, here's one for gender wage gaps. And it's going to pull up, well, Ledbetter versus Goodyear. Okay, so there's, I mean, some law cases, a lot of law cases. So let's pull up, what's another topic? I'm going to say Asian persecution. Okay, there's some law cases there as well. Plessy versus Ferguson, that could work. That's not really, I was thinking I think that was a slave case, I thought. Maybe I'm thinking of something else. Again, so there's a lot of cases, Brown versus Board of Education, and there's a couple people who are talking about the education system, higher education, the lack of minority representation. And again, I look specifically at law cases. So let's go back and just put articles. And again, let's do gender wage gaps. So again, there's a ton of articles, and a lot of these are also the peer-reviewed journal article that we're not having to use now. Okay, so this is a really good source And honestly, in the past, we meaning Ms. Lewis and I, we haven't really used the UT library as much because it is just so massive. And Google Scholar gives you some really good things, plus the library resources that we have through ClassLink, okay? So with the contextualizing documents, the cool thing is there is no date limitation. So you could use, you know, Brown versus Board of Education. You could use Plessy versus Ferguson. You could use, you know, something like some sort of a founding type document. Okay, oops, that's not what we want. Okay. So questions about contextualizing documents. Anything, any questions about them? Well, let me go, hang on, let me close out of all the things. So I want to go here to ClassLink as well.
What were the 3 categories again that it falls under for like what it needs to be a contextualizing document?
Well, there's not just 3, but the 3 most popular, there's law sources or legal, some kind of legal reference, and then a like a founding document, and then also a peer-reviewed journal article, like a study of some kind.
Okay.
Those usually are going to be your excuse me. Those are usually going to be your contextualizing documents. And again, it's just going to provide that kind of historical foundation to your argument. Okay, so we have all. Let's see. I may reach out to Ms. Osborne and ask her like which one of the databases does she think would be the best sources. Gill and Context, biographies, maybe, culturegrams, I'm not familiar with that one. Britannica would probably be helpful. Science, depending on what you're looking at. But there's a lot of new ones in here. So I'll double check with her and see what what would she recommend as far as if you wanted to use our databases. Okay. Any other questions? Let me see, where's the chat? There's chat room. Anything else? Okay. So far, I think I've read all of, I haven't read Grace's yet. I think I'm getting there. I should get through with the first ally today. But Emery and Sam and Nicole, your first ones, they look really good. So y'all are definitely on the right track. I'm gonna go ahead and stop recording. This was a short little thing.